All right, man, this is going to be fun. We're going to be talking. I just heard Corey and D'Angelo pull up. We're going to be talking to this guy, Corey. He just bought a used car here in Costa Rica. We're going to hear his story and his experience, all right? So stay tuned for that. Hey, guys, I'm Michael Allen, TravelCostaRicaNow.com. TravelCostaRicaNow.com is a travel agency, so go to TravelCostaRicaNow.com, fill out the 4-minute form. You'll be that much closer to the vacation of a lifetime. But we make a lot of videos, man, about living and traveling in Costa Rica. We'd totally appreciate a subscribe. Hit that notification bell, and you'll know when we put up new content. So Corey, the new ride. The new ride. So what did we get?
It's a 1979 BJ40 Land Cruiser.
So this is Corey. This, I bet you guys, yep, him. Got to show the picture. There's the volcano, guys. All right, man. So let's hear it. We're gonna hear this. We're gonna be talking to Corey here in a minute. So this is. I'm sorry. What year is this?
1979 BJ40 Land Cruiser.
Can we just start out?
The year I was born. It's as old as me. We're the same age.
Can we just throw it out there? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. So how much did you pay? We'll get into the particulars of the story later. But how much did you pay?
$10,000. Wow.
10,000. Yeah. Well, I think that's good, but we'll find out, right? Oh, check it out, man. I love this color. This color looks good, man.
Thank you.
I totally want to put those right here. As soon as I saw it, I was like,
Yeah, I guess that's just for when you back up.
All right, man. Let's go do this. Let's go do this. Guys, we're up here at D'Angelo. We call this the Mountain House. And let's just go ahead and do a shameless plug. Christmas is coming. He does rent this house out, and it's freaking beautiful. Check it out.
Go around my house.
So if you want to, I guess what I'm going to do, since I'm just thinking about it, at the end of this interview, I will show you a little bit more of the house. Hey, where are we doing this?
oh, I got you guys set up outside right here in the front, but
Okay. Anyway, we'll come back here. Sorry, we're leaving again. Anyway, he rents this house out. You can get a hold of me, and I can let you get a hold of him, or it's on Airbnb as well. So,
set up out
oh,
here.
you are. Look how.
Oh yeah, look at that awesomeness of all the orchids and bromeliads in
Wow.
full bloom right now, which is.
These flowers are popping, right? Check out.
And if they could smell them, those little white ones right there, they smell amazing.
Check that out. That's a nice backdrop. Let's do this. Let's change it to this. All right, let's go. So, I'll start out a little bit, and if I make a mistake, you tell me where I went wrong.
Okay.
Corey's been coming down to Costa Rica since like 2007, and he's always, starting around 2010, I believe, he's kind of had, I'm going to live in Costa Rica one day.
Correct.
Kind of thing. So just recently, he just moved down here about a month ago. Now, I didn't know Corey prior, but we had talked on emails
Yes.
quite a few times
Sure.
over periods of time.
Past couple years.
So now he's coming down here. Now, so he's going to come to Fortuna. So he's staying in one of our apartments in Fortuna, also on Airbnb. But he reached out to me because he needed a car. He's going to buy a used car. I'm living in Costa Rica. I need a car. I surf. I go places. So I have a person that I usually tell people, yes, I got a great guy. He's honest. He'll help you get a used car. Just so happens, during this time of whatever
Corona.
this is, our guy went missing in action for a while. He is back now. My guy is back. If you're looking for a used car, Corey missed him though. So Corey's gonna walk through how he got that car. So pick it up where you want to pick it up at. But that was pretty much.
Basically, I got down here and kind of had all my eggs in one basket. I was going to use Anibal. And as soon as I got down here, I sent him an email, waited a couple days, didn't have a response, sent another email, didn't have a response, talked to you.
Didn't have.
Didn't have a response, so I had to go on it alone. So then I just started looking through the different websites, kind of like the Craigslist of Costa Rica, and looking at cars. But also I didn't bring down cash, so I quickly realized that who I could buy from was limited. Because not everybody has.
Obviously cash is
Right, and not everybody has PayPal. Not everybody can do a wire transfer. They private seller might not even have a bank account. So I started doing research, and I just started looking at cars and would send out like WhatsApp text. Hey, I'm Corey from California. Tell my situation.
Now, I'm sorry. Did you have a car in mind?
At first, yes. I was gonna get either a like a Nissan Pathfinder or a Toyota 4Runner.
Okay, I'm sorry. So keep.
And I had a budget of 10,000.
Right.
So to get one of those, you're talking late 90s around here.
Which I don't know if people know this, and I'm sure you did know this. Usually, it's pretty much a given that everything here is double whatever it is in the States. So
Right.
if it's a blue book, let's say 5,000 in the United States, it is going to be 10 or around that, right?
Right.
And even newer cars, older cars, it all kind of plays out that way.
Correct.
If people didn't know that.
Yeah, so I started sending out WhatsApp texts, that exactly what I just said, and I'd just get a lot of like, no. I was like, all right. So then I try to think of like,
Would they even try to steer you? You know what I mean? Would they go, I don't, but I got a name?
So I had one guy who brought up, you could do a wire transfer, and me doing my homework, and I found out later I was a little too aggressive, and I was like, yeah, you know what, I could do a wire transfer, and I started like asking questions about Marchamu and Retibe and just legal questions about the car, and the response I got was, the car is no longer available. I was like, shit.
Well, that's probably a flag that they were like, oh, we don't want to mess with all that.
Right. And after talking to people, they said, dude, you spooked them. You were too aggressive. And I was like, okay. So I kind of learned from that experience. And then I actually called a dealer about a car. I wasn't
okay, seriously, people may not know this. A dealer, a Toyota type of dealership, or those little places that have like 10 cars.
little place that have 10 cars.
Okay.
And so I was inquiring about a car. I didn't want the car, but I wanted to know if they would take credit cards. So I was seeing if that was an option. If I saw a car for $7,000, could I go buy it with credit? And basically that wasn't an option. But during that, when I reached out to that dealer, he said, well, I just had an American buy a car off of me, and he did it a different way. I don't know how to explain it in English, so can I give him your number? Which he did. So shortly after, a guy named Bob called me and explained wire transfers, and that's how he bought his car. So I learned that was an option.
You mean bank to bank, just a regular bank to bank?
Right. Which, if you use PayPal and you're sending $10,000, it's quite a bit of fees. So I continued with the WhatsApp search, and then somebody got back to me and said they had PayPal, and they would take PayPal if I ate the fees. That's fair enough. But they're in Gracia, which is 3.5 hours away from La Fortuna. So another side story, it was after we made that contact, we said we were going to meet on Tuesday morning. So Sunday, I was watching a football game at a bar, and a local came up to me, probably saw that I was new in town, and was kind of fishing for work. And I kind of picked up what he was putting down. So I was like, hey, listen, I want to go to Gracia, and I noticed you have a car. If you want to drive me, I will give you the amount that an Uber costs. And he said, cool. So I gave him my phone to enter his contact information, which he did. Went home that night, got up in the morning. I went to call him to set up the time, and the number he put in the phone was no longer in service. So that's how it started out.
Welcome to Costa Rica, where nothing goes as planned.
Right. And from watching your videos, I already knew, like, expect your plan not to go as planned. So it didn't bother me. I was like, all right. So I just ordered an Uber.
Just out of curiosity, how much was that to get to Gracia?
$80. And then...
Did he take the long way? Because you said 3.5 hours earlier, so it shouldn't have been...
Well, you know what? I don't know the exact time, but what...
It's 2.5 at the most. I mean, San Jose's 2.5, right?
No.
Gracia,
Well, the way you drive. Get back to your story.
Well, basically what happened is I put on Uber and I put in my destination. It said like $77. And the guy showed up and didn't speak English, and he had me sit in the front seat, which I already knew something was up. So we fumbled through, but what he wanted me to do was cancel my Uber and pay him cash. And I said, that's not a problem. I can do that. So I just paid him cash, the same amount of the Uber would have cost, and we drove to Gracia.
yeah, which wasn't a bad price, actually.
Yeah, no, it was fine. And then I got there on Monday. We weren't supposed to meet till Tuesday, and I went there a day early because I wanted to get up. There's a lot of car dealerships in Gracia, so I was going to kind of window shop before I met with this guy in case it didn't work out.
So, I'm sorry, So the guy you're meeting, he's a private person or he's part of a dealer?
Private seller.
Oh, so this is that whatever is selling one car.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought. Okay.
Now this was a private seller that said he had PayPal, so this is why I'm following up.
Okay.
He was one of the only one that responded that said he would take PayPal. So I get there and he ended up showing up on the Tuesday, like he said he would, and I saw the car. I liked the car. Took a ride. We were both kind of a little nervous. I could tell he was, and we started talking. He loosened up and asked him why he was selling it, and he was like, "Well, let me show you." So he drove me into a nice gated community, to like an end of a street that just had one incomplete house. So I'm not gonna lie, I had some bad thoughts go through my mind of what could possibly come of this, but it turns out that's his house he was building and ran out of money. So which would make sense of why you would want to get rid of a nice car like this. So after he let me drive it, drove it around, wanted it, so let's proceed. So we went to a lawyer's office, which was totally at his discretion because I have no connections, so I have no say.
Now, how are you feeling with all this?
A little anxious.
I would think so.
But I
Going
realized,
to an unfinished. Where are we going? What's going to happen here?
And this is all in English, right?
correct. Well, broken English and broken Spanish.
He didn't speak English.
He spoke English better than I spoke Spanish, but we got by. And so we went to this lawyer's office, which said abogado. It was a lawyer's office. It was his lawyer. Fine. I don't have any choice. What am I going to do? Pick my lawyer? And so we went in. They just wanted my information. They could drop the paperwork, and we'd come back the next day. So he drove me back to my hotel and was going to pick me up the next morning. Picks me up the next morning with his dad, who owns the car, who has to be there to sign for it. And we went to the office, and I had my laptop, so I started doing. We decided to do a wire transfer because he had a bank account. But here in Costa Rica, not unlike California or the States, is 10,000 is kind of like a red flag for money laundering. So I couldn't wire him $10,000. So I had to do a dual transaction of a wire to him for $5,000 and then a PayPal to one of his buddies for $5,000.
Creative
Right.
finances.
Right. Yeah.
Now, can we go back for a minute? So
Sure.
you just basically test drove the car. Did you run like a VIN number to see if this, where this car came from? Did you have are you a mechanic guy or?
No. Not a mechanic, and I didn't run the VIN, which I had done research and from your videos knew to do. But when I was told about this car, which was not in my plan, I did some research just for a couple of days and learned that the reason I'm buying this car is because it's essentially bulletproof.
Well, because that's not the that's not the car you
No.
were looking at. You were
No.
looking at Pathfinders.
Yeah, or a Toyota 4Runner. Right.
That's not.
Yeah. Originally it was a Hilux, but then I realized I didn't need a truck, so that, for the 10-year plan, it was a Hilux, but that's no, Anyway, so I started doing research when my buddy neighbor Dan brought up the Land Cruiser and realized, well, yeah, you buy this car because it's bulletproof. You're not getting anything luxurious, which I don't need. And I'm not a big driver. I don't want to drive all over the place, just to the beach and back. But you don't have to worry about the mechanics. If it works, if something goes wrong, it's...
Well, there's a reason it's that, it's... Yeah.
Right. So where were we in the story?
Well, no, I was just asking you about if you checked like VIN numbers or
I
anything
did not.
like that, which I get it. So you did the test drive. You're like, and you're obviously, you might have anxiety with this guy, but you must have felt it must have been kind of gaining in trust as it went on with him. You know what I mean? You start making.
Right.
Did you feel more comfortable, or did you stay anxious pretty much?
Well, once he took me to his unfinished house and explained his divorce, and the wife took the kids to his house, and he's been saving for this house and ran out of money because he lost his job during COVID, I was like, all right, now I don't even want to negotiate on price. Like, to me, it's worth $10,000. So someone might say, oh no, you could get that for $8,000. I don't care. This guy has a need for the money.
What
I
is
think
that
it's
car
worth it.
like in? I don't even know. Like in the States, what were the Kelly on that? Do you know?
I don't know the Kelly, but just Google searching, I couldn't find one under $30,000.
To me, the 10 sounds good to me. I don't know cars, but it looks really nice, and it's running around.
Yeah,
right?
no, I love it. But yeah, there's nothing power, so there's nothing really to go wrong with that thing.
It's
there is.
engine and chassis.
Right. So where were we?
The father came in, did all, he had to sign for it.
Yeah, so we're doing the wire transfer out of my laptop.
Oh yeah, the two different ways.
And it's the same day wire transfer, which on my end, it went through. I immediately got an email as soon as I sent it, give me a confirmation number, this, that, and the other. But he didn't receive anything. Not from his bank, not from his email, which was required while doing the transfer. So the money left my account, but wasn't in his account. And we were in the lawyer's office, and I was on the phone for an hour and a half and got transferred like 5 times on speakerphone to let him know, like, hey, this is happening. It's just up to your bank to process it.
But he wasn't getting the information. So it was stuck in some fiber optics somewhere.
Yeah, it was stuck in limbo somewhere, which I've already had 10 grand out, well, 5, the PayPal was processing, 5 grand out of my account, and he has nothing in his account. So he wasn't going to give me the keys.
Was he starting to look at you with anxiety?
we both, I'm sure we both looked pretty nervous, because at one point, like,
it's like the checks in the mail. I swear you're getting your money.
Right. But this guy was cool. He was genuine, and then he couldn't say it, so he did Google Translate and said, "I'm a man of principles." So am I. So I suggested, hey, why don't we take the car back to your place? You give me the keys, take me to my hotel, and I'll just chill there until everything goes through. I don't care if it takes 2 or 3 days, and then we'll go. And he's like, nah, no more money on hotels. You're gonna come stay with me. I was like, okay.
I don't think this would have happened in the United States. I'm not sure.
I probably wouldn't have done it in the United States, but I was like, all right, let's do this.
So you actually go? There's like.
So we took the BJ40 back to his house. Then in his Fortuna, took his father back to his house, and went back and had dinner and talked for a bit. And I went and slept in his child's bunk bed. His children weren't
This
home.
is so Costa Rica story. I mean, some people are going, wait, what?
Right.
But it would be kind of a normal thing here. Yeah, just come to my house, stay. We'll wait
Right.
for the wire transfer.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There was a time where I was laying, but I didn't sleep much that night. But I was like, "What the F are you doing? Like, money's gone at this guy's house."
Well, you've traveled back and forth to Costa Rica for a long time, but I mean, you just really got here a month or so ago
Right.
to kind of make the, living here. So, I mean, you might be new to some of these aspects of living here.
Right.
So I can see
So
why you might have been a little anxious.
yeah, so we get up and he makes breakfast, and I have a typical Costa Rican breakfast, and we have to run some errands, and we talk about his divorce and talk about my life, and became friends as far as I'm concerned.
Now,
And,
had his bank told him there was something coming, or it still wasn't
yet.
even registering?
not till noon the following day it was processing, but the lawyers weren't in the office, and then we had to have his father there to sign, and he wasn't available till around 3. So basically I was there for a day and a half. We went back to the office, and only 5,000 was cleared. He released the car to me. The other money was
The PayPal money cleared?
No,
Or
the PayPal was still processing, but the direct the wire transfer cleared. So he released the car at half the price. So he was trusting, which was cool. And I told him, I was like, dude, if anything goes with PayPal, don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. You'll get your money, promise. So yeah. So I didn't want to drive at night. It gets dark here around 5:30, and it was a bit of a drive. I'm not
coming back through San Ramon.
right, and I'm not used to this. I don't know if you've ever driven a Land Cruiser, but it's like driving a tractor.
I have.
I call it the tank.
And it is.
Yeah. So I didn't really want to do that at night and in the rain, but it was fine. So and everything worked. Everything was great. Got dark. Lights were turned on, and then about 10 miles out of Fortuna, I lost the lights. So I was driving through the jungle in the rain with no lights, which wasn't fun. To cut that story short, it turned out just to be a wire that came off. The battery cables were, like I said, simple car. Open the hood, tighten this bolt, now everything works fine. So that was a little bit of adventure. Come back to a new gate that no one told me about. And I was locked out.
Now, was this okay? So how this happened? How did you view this? before? I mean, were you thinking this was going to be easy transaction? What was going through your mind before all this even started? Like, okay, I'll go here, I'll pick out a car, I'll transfer money, we'll get a lawyer, I'll get the car, I'll be back by later this afternoon, or, you know what I mean? What was going through your head on how this was supposed to play out versus it played out fine, you know, everything is fine, there's no bad to this story,
Right.
you know, but it's interesting that, you know, you're spending the night at the guy selling it, there's money stuck up in the fiber optic world of the internet.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that. Honestly, I thought I'd go through your recommendation. I thought that was going to be the thing, so I thought it'd be just a smooth.
Sorry about that, by the way.
That's fine.
Oh, he's back.
And then I kind of, probably on my bad, as I mistook, like when you talked about PayPal in some of your videos, I thought everybody used PayPal. I thought it was a thing.
Oh.
So the way I saw it going is I'd go through your guide, I'd find a car I liked, I'd buy it, I'd use PayPal. As soon as they saw those processing, which would be immediate, then I'd leave with the card, go through in 2 or 3 days, like PayPal does, and that'd be that. So that's how I saw it going. I didn't see this outcome.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd ever really say people use PayPal. I just kind of, I mean, for me personally, I kind of just got stuck with it in a sense, and my options kind of ran out. There's probably better options now, you know, with all that money stuff, but I just kind of got stuck with PayPal. So.
I would say the best option is bring cash.
Well, yeah, definitely bring cash. I mean, I would bring my 9,900
sure.
every time I came back if you know,
Sure.
I could. If I had 9,000.
Right. I don't know what in my mind, I just didn't want to carry that much cash at all, like throughout the whole process. I don't know why. Now, hindsight, it wouldn't have been a big deal.
Yeah, but it wasn't hindsight. You're thinking you're being
Right.
safe, man. You're thinking,
Right.
I don't know.
I was banking on the PayPal, and I was banking on your car recommendation guy. So, I like to say the name.
Let's just say nothing.
I know. I'll say it.
Well,
Anyway.
so you happy?
Absolutely.
I mean, you're like,
oh
you're
yeah,
cool with it? No?
100%.
Would you have, in that scenario, as it went, would you have done anything different? I don't know, in that scenario. I don't know what it would be like. Not that you would have checked the VIN number, but something. Is there anything in this process you would have said, well, maybe I wouldn't have stayed at his house? I don't know. I'm just asking the question.
Only one thing I can think of that I would have done different is bring cash.
Right, which would have obviously
would have eliminated all of that.
helped a lot.
Yeah.
Or sleep on the top bunk because it's the last time you're ever going to.
Well, he had moved his laundry from the bottom bunk to the top bunk, so I didn't have an option. And to add to that, he forgot to leave a blanket. He left a nice clean towel for the shower in the morning, so my feet were warm.
I think it's going to be a great car when you get to your destination closer to a surfing
Right.
destination. I think that's going to be a great car, back and forth, grocery store, you know, all that kind of stuff. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to work out good. Probably go another 5 years, whatever.
Yeah, and he was turned out to be a real genuine guy. He said, you know, when do you have to go back? And I told him when. He's like, you know, if you want, it's halfway to the airport. You can store it in my garage. Because you could tell he didn't want to get rid of the car. It was because of...
Well, see, that's even interesting. How many people would say that? How many people would say, when you go back to the United States, bring the car and keep it at my house?
Right.
Didn't you mention he said something about he would even...
The Retiva is due in March, which I'll be back before then, so I'll take care of that. But he's like, yeah, if you're still back with family, he's like, I have a guy, I could take care of that. But you could tell, like, even when I was test driving it, he was kind of scolding me like a father would. Like, he didn't... And mind you, I haven't had a stick shift since I was a teenager. And so, yeah, you could tell he cared about the car.
You're making him cringe?
Yeah.
Release the clutch!
Cody, slow, it's four-wheel drive slower. I was like, sorry, man. I don't know what to do. But anyways, you could tell he cared about the car. So he didn't want me to go and leave it somewhere unprotected. He kept reminding me on, you know, what could be stolen and what to look out for. And he didn't want to sell the car. He just had to because the house comes first.
Well, I appreciate you sharing the story, and this isn't a do it this way type of video. This was your experience, and I think actually there is a few things to learn from your experience.
Sure.
I think one of the major ones is it never goes as planned and that's anything. That's not just buying a car. That's pretty much anything you do here and any plan you make. So just that is kind of big, but
right. And if I could add a little more, when I was in Gracia, before I'd met with him, I was at a cafe having breakfast, and I heard a Canadian speaking, and I went and sat and talked with him, and I told him what I was doing there, and immediately he hooked me up with some other Canadians who might have cars for sale, and immediately I just started I made the mistake of giving him my number, and I started getting bombarded with all these texts telling me I can't trust this Tico and I can't, you know, go through him. And I was like, you don't even know. You don't
trust
even know.
me.
Yeah. And so I told him, I said, hey, listen, I like the cars you're sending me. We could talk, but let me look at this car first. If this doesn't work out, I'll get back to you. He's like, don't even do it. You're wasting your time.
We live here, we know, and you can trust us because we're all from North America.
Right. And so then after I bought the car, I even told him, I was like, hey, you know, I'm good over here. And he still was sending me pictures, and I was like, okay.
No, I got.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'd trust any of them, but yeah, I got it.
So.
Well, Corey, thank you so much for talking to us.
Absolutely.
We're gonna do a quick little run through of D'Angelo's property real quick.
Sweet.
Now we're gonna make this. This is just a fast one because this is an unplanned thing.
Those are all hummingbirds you're hearing in the background.
So this is a lot of landscaping over the how long?
What do you mean? How long? Like 9 years?
9 years. Check this out. So anyway, guys, you can rent this by the month even.
Sure.
By the month, by the day. It is on Airbnb. Christmas is coming. Check this out. Look at that. There's a barbecue back here. I don't know if you can see it. Back there. Let's go around here real quick. Just want to show you guys real quick. This is the back porch. Cool. Did a lot of planting here. A lot of planting. Again, the volcano is right there. That's under those clouds. This is the front. These are crotons, one of my favorite plants here. Bushes. Let's go in here real quick. Yes, it's got good internet. Obviously a full kitchen. 2 bedrooms. 2 bathrooms, a shared shower, like. Second bedroom. I believe Netflix and Fire Sticks and stuff. Look at that. Look at that view. See a little bit more of the volcano there. Check it out. Alright guys, man, I hope you enjoyed that information, experience from Corey. I'm sure he's going to be able to share a lot more in a few years now that he's made the move to Costa Rica. I'm Michael Allen, travelcostarica.com. Peace, guys. Hope it helps. Hey, say goodbye.
See you later. Ciao.
All right, man. If you're thinking about living or traveling to Costa Rica, always do your research. Things are going to pop up. And have a great day.